Let me guess what your mind is doing right now. It is a torrent, a raging river of what-ifs and should-haves and dark maybes. You're trying to focus on what's in front of you, your work, your family, your own rest. But there's a relentless, low-frequency hum running beneath it all. It's that old, familiar voice of critique, anxiety, or regret. You feel trapped in your own skull. You hear the worst-case scenario playing out like a 4K movie on repeat, and you instinctively try to fight it. You push the thought away. You argue with it. You label yourself as flawed for even having it. And the struggle, my friend, is exhausting. It is the real burden. You look at other people and they seem free. But you know the truth of your own interior life. You are constantly battling your own thoughts just to get through the day. I need you to hear this truth: you are not broken. Your capacity for deep thought is not a curse. The problem isn't that you have negative thoughts. The problem is that we were never taught how to manage a modern brain in a loud world. We were taught to believe every thought we had. This video is not about eliminating negative thoughts. That is a fantasy, and it's toxic. This video is about giving you the skill of non-adherence. It's about teaching your mind the difference between an observation and an identity. It's about the profound, liberating truth that you are not your thoughts. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years ago, and modern psychology confirms it. The greatest freedom is not from the external world, but from the tyrannical power of your own imagination. We are going to dismantle the emotional fuse that connects you to the negative chatter. We're going to give you 8 powerful, practical techniques rooted in philosophy and real-world application. No fluff, just tools. By the end of this journey, you will know how to watch your negative thoughts float by like clouds, instead of letting them crash down on you like a storm. If you're ready to finally take back the control you thought you lost, if you're ready to stop fighting the current and simply change your posture, I invite you to commit to this process. If this is landing with you right now, I want you to anchor this commitment by opening the comments and declaring this simple phrase. Comment this: my mind is a river. Number 1. The fundamental divide. What is mine? This is the bedrock of Stoicism, popularized by the slave-turned-teacher Epictetus. He taught that peace hinges on understanding the single, iron law of the universe. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. What is up to you? Your judgment, your impulses, your desires. What is not up to you? Other people's opinions, the weather, and critically, the initial appearance of an automatic, negative thought. Psychologically, this is recognizing that the brain is a prediction machine. It fires thoughts based on old wiring, not current reality. Think of your mind as a house with a window facing a busy street. The traffic, the constant stream of thoughts, is outside your control. You cannot stop the cars, but you can control whether you run out into the street and try to direct traffic, or whether you simply watch it from the comfort of your living room. Start a daily habit of labeling your stress. When a worry hits you, e.g., I'm going to fail that presentation, ask yourself, is this an external event or an internal judgment? If it's a thought about an event outside your control, gently whisper or think the word, not mine. My reaction is my only domain. Number 2. The neutral observer. This technique leverages the Stoic concept of proheresis, or our ruling center, the part of us that judges. Modern cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, calls this cognitive diffusion. The goal is to create distance between the thinker and the thought. The moment a negative thought hits, we usually fuse with it, believing it to be an accurate description of reality. Imagine you are at a movie theater watching a horror film. You know the figure on screen is not real, but your heart still pounds. Detachment is simply turning your attention from the screen, the thought, to the fact that you are sitting in a seat, eating popcorn, the observer. The feeling is real, but the event is not. When you catch a worrying thought, say it out loud, but attach a frame to it. I am having the thought that I am unprepared. Or, more playfully, give the thought a silly voice, or sing it like a jingle. This subtle shift in framing strips the thought of its emotional authority and reminds you that it is merely a sentence in your head, not a divine law. Number 3, the power of premeditation. This ancient, often misunderstood practice translates to the premeditation of evils. Premeditatio Malorum. It is not dwelling on the negative. It is intentionally imagining the worst-case, inevitable, but survivable scenario. The anxiety brain is afraid of the unknown outcome. By calmly thinking through the worst-case scenario and building a mental plan, you steal the thought's power to surprise and paralyze you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and unsociable." He didn't mean this to be cynical. He meant to pre-accept reality so that when it happened, it wouldn't be a shock that provoked a negative reaction. A firefighter constantly runs drills for the most dangerous scenarios. They don't do this to become afraid. They do it to build muscle memory and cognitive calm under pressure. When the real fire starts, they execute the plan. They don't panic. Set a 5-minute timer. Write down your biggest fear. Then, write one line for what you would do if that fear came true. Then, one line for what the next day would look like. You aren't validating the fear, you are validating your capacity to endure. Number 4, the judgment audit. Most negative thoughts are not facts. They are opinions disguised as facts. The Stoics focused on separating the raw impression from the assent agreement. An event happens, it is raining. Impression, the sky is producing water. Assent, this rain is terrible and ruining my day. The opinion is where the suffering resides. A mountain biker looks at a steep hill. A negative person thinks, "That's impossible, I'll fall, I'm too weak." A detached, resilient person thinks, "That is a steep, difficult gradient." The grade of the hill is an objective fact. The self-defeating commentary is a subjective opinion. The second person can choose to climb it. Learn the two-word separation, "it is" and "I judge it to be." Example, it is a critique from my boss. I judge it to be a catastrophe for my career. By separating these, you expose the dramatic leap of logic. Then, rejudge the situation neutrally. It is a critique from my boss. I can use this to improve my performance. Number 5, the view from above. This technique, also called taking the God's eye view, cosmic perspective, forces you to zoom out from the narrow tunnel of your current worry. Your anxiety feels world ending because you are standing right in the middle of it. By mentally pulling back, you contextualize your problem against the vastness of time and space. This is a profound tool for breaking ego-centric thought patterns. Seneca spoke of how philosophy calls us to a larger world. He who has looked upon the whole universe as his city will not be afraid of being banished. Our worries feel small when compared to the vastness of the cosmos. Imagine a tiny ant carrying a massive crumb. To the ant, this is a life or death mission. To a human watching, it's just a common struggle. Now, imagine a satellite viewing the entire continent. Your meeting, your perceived slight, your failed task. It registers as nothing but a tiny ripple. When consumed by a thought, try the 5-step zoom. 1. Your name. 2. Your street address. 3. Your city region. 4. Your planet Earth. 5. Your galaxy, the Milky Way. Then gently zoom back in, holding the perspective that your thought is temporary and statistically insignificant in the cosmic dance. Number 6. The rehearsal of mortality. Memento Mori. Remember, you must die. This is the ultimate clarifying lens. Anxiety is the fear of losing something. Status, control, time, a future outcome. By accepting the ultimate, inevitable loss of life itself, all smaller worries lose their bite. This perspective fuels urgent, purposeful action instead of paralyzing fear. Imagine holding a handful of sand. Clench your fist tightly to hold onto every single grain, and the pressure makes most of it slip out. Open your hand gently and accept that some grains will fall, and you actually keep more of what is precious. The fist is the clinging mind. The open hand is acceptance of impermanence. Ask yourself this question whenever you are stuck in a cycle of worry. If this was the last week of my life, would I still spend this hour thinking about this? Use that fierce clarity to dictate your next 5 minutes of action. Number 7. The gratitude pivot. Negativity bias is baked into our evolutionary history. Our brains are wired to prioritize threats, bad news over opportunities, good news. This kept us alive on the savannah, but it drives us crazy in the modern world. Gratitude is the conscious, disciplined act of using the mind to rewire itself for possibility and presence. It is a fundamental Stoic practice of enjoying the small, temporary gifts the universe provides. Your car's oil light is always red's negativity bias. The dashboard is designed to scream at you about the problem. Gratitude is the act of looking at the full gas tank, the working air conditioner, and the smooth engine, the 99% that is functioning right now, and acknowledging it before the red light can consume your focus. The 3-item pause. Every time you feel a significant wave of anxiety, stop what you are doing, look around, and mentally or physically note 3 things you are taking for granted right now. 1. A luxury. G. I have a safe roof over my head. 2. A sensory experience. E or G. The coffee I'm drinking is warm and comforting. 3. A functioning part of your body. E.g., my lungs are drawing an easy, deep breath. Number 8. The principle of action. Anxiety is energy without an outlet. It creates a state of psychological paralysis, where the mind is doing all the works worrying, but the body is doing none of the work as acting. The Stoics believed that philosophy was useless if it didn't translate into virtue and action. The moment we take a tiny, physical step toward a solution, the feedback loop of anxiety is broken. A spinning flywheel that is out of control is a perfect analogy for the anxious mind. You can't stop it by tackling it head-on, but if you take a tiny piece of wood, a small action, and insert it into the mechanism, the momentum is disrupted. The wheel doesn't stop instantly, but it has changed its course. When a paralyzing thought hits you, I have too much to do, I can't start, use the 1-minute rule. Commit to exactly 60 seconds of focused action on the smallest, least threatening task related to the worry. Reply to 1 email. Draft 1 sentence. Wash 1 dish. Action doesn't eliminate the thought, but it tells your subconscious mind, we are in motion, not in danger. Listen closely. This is where most people fail and run back to the mental prison cell. You will have days where these techniques feel useless. The thoughts will be too loud. The momentum of the anxiety will seem too strong. That is normal. That is the ego fighting for its old identity. We are not looking for intensity. We are looking for consistency. You do not need to sit for an hour and conquer your thoughts. You need to interrupt them for 5 seconds, 12 times a day. Think of it like dental hygiene. A single, intense day of flossing in December will not save your teeth, but 2 minutes of flossing every single day for a decade. That is life-changing. Your inner peace is not a marathon. It's a series of 100-meter sprints you run every time a negative thought appears. Don't fight the thought. Simply observe it, label it, zoom out, and pivot to a tiny action. The secret is showing up. The peace you seek is not a place you arrive at, it is a way you behave daily. Right now, in this moment, there is a choice. You can continue to believe the internal noise, the fear, the regret, the shame, and let your life be dictated by a series of involuntary sentences in your head. Or you can embrace the powerful, ancient, and deeply human truth that you are not the voice, you are the listener. You are the choice maker. You are the pilot of the vessel. You have been given the compass. You have the map. The journey begins with a single, small commitment to recognize your own freedom. If these 8 principles have given you a foothold, a single tool that landed true, please pay it forward. Like this video to cast it into the algorithm and help someone else who is trapped in their own mind right now. Share it with a friend who you know is battling their thoughts in silence, and subscribe to join a community dedicated to building a life of inner resilience and true freedom. Before you go, I want you to make one last, powerful declaration to anchor this entire practice. This isn't for me, it's for you. Open the comments one last time, look the darkness in the eye, and write final declaration: I am the listener. Thank you for your attention. Now, go be free.